So good day ma'am, my name is Lovie Jil Santillan from BHM3B. So today I'm going to report the chapter 13, which is the labor law. We have here the learning objectives, enumerate the classifications of employees, their benefits, privileges, and policies affecting them, and identify some best practices in handling human resources in tourism establishment, and identify the procedures in handling sexual harassment in the workplace, and lastly, to explain the rights of workers employed in tourism establishments. So the tourism industry, with its labor incentives nature, is prone to many labor issues. Hence, labor law plays a vital role in the efficient operations of the various businesses enterprises related to tourism. This chapter deals with the important provisions governing labor laws as well as the benefits, privileges, and policies affecting employees. So, constitutional provisions on labor in Section 3, the state shall afford full protections to labor, local and overseas, organize and unorganized, and promote full employment and equality of employment opportunities for all. So, the state shall promote the principles of shared responsibility between workers and employers, and the preferential use of voluntary modes in settling disputes, including conciliations, and shall enforce their mutual compliances therewith to foster industrial peace. We have heard the classifications of employees. The employees of a company may be classified as a regular employees, casual employees, seasonal employees, project employees, probationary employees, employees for a fixed term, overseas Filipino workers, special workers, and apprentice, learners, and handicapped workers. So when we say regular employees, the employees who are deemed regular are those who have been engaged to perform activities which are usually necessary or desirable in the usual trade or business of the employers. So B, those casual employees who have rendered at least 1 year of service, whether such service is continuous or broken, with respect to the activity in which are employed. An employee who is allowed to work after a probationary period. Workers supplied by a labor-only contractor to the principal shall be considered regular employees of the latter. So, ugnak sa ka-company o maabot na kag 1 year sa imong service or 1 year up, so mahingo na kang regular employees. Casual employees, so ang casual employees kay whose employment is neither regular or project or seasonal. So, seasonal employees kay ting season na po na siya mo duty. O ang project employees kay is one whose employment has been fixed for a specific project or undertaking the completions or terminations of which has been determined at the time of the engagement of the employees or where the work or services to be performed is seasonal in nature and the employment is for the durations of the season. A probationary employee is one who is on trial by an employer during which the employer determines whether or not he is qualified or permanent employment. So, employees for a fixed term, these are employees covered in employment contract providing for term employment or fixed period employment. Stipulation providing for a fixed period employment are valid when the period agreed upon has been knowingly and voluntarily agreed by the parties without force, so duress or improper pressure exerted on the employee, and which such stipulations were not designed to circumvent the laws on security of tenure. So we have here the OFW. So mao na sila ang mag-migrate sa kuan laing nasod para mo trabaho lang. And then special worker apprentice is a worker who is covered by a written apprenticeship agreement with an individual employer or any of the recognized entities. So ang learners are person hired as trainee in semi-skilled and other industrial occupations which are non-appreciable and which may be learned through practical training on the job in relatively short period of time which shall not exceed 3 months. So benefits privilege policies affecting employees. So we have here the minimum wage. By virtue of Republic Act number 6727, Wage Rationalizations Act, the determinations of minimum wage rates are now within the functions of the Regional Tripartite and Productivity Board. So the concept of minimum wage means more than setting a floor wage to upgrade existing wages. Minimum wages underlies the effort of the state to promote productivity improvement and gain sharing measures to ensure a decent standard of living for the workers and their families, to affirm labor as a primary social economic force. And then we have here the collective bargaining, labor management council, maternity and paternity leaves, union rights, strikes and lockouts, service charge, employment contract, death benefits, health benefits, drug testing, retirement, uniform policies, SSS, PhilHealth, employees' compensations, commissions and pag-ibig, and then termination of employment. And then law against discriminations in Article 3, Declarations of Basic Policy, the state shall afford protections to labor, promote full employment, ensure equal work opportunities regardless of sex, race, or creed, regulate the relations between workers and employers. And then the law against discriminations with respect to labor as follows in Republic Act number 7277, also known as Magna Carta for Disabled Person. So mao ni siyang the following constitute acts of discriminations of the handicapped workers. And then sexual harassment in the workplace under Republic Act number 7877, also known as the Sexual Harassment Act of 1995. Sexual harassment is committed by an employer, employee, manager, supervisor, agent of the employee, manager, supervisor, agent of the employee, or any other person who having authority, influence, or moral ascendancy over another in a work environment. Best labor practices in tourism establishment. It will be noted that 90% of the selective respondents agree that it is imperative to have a proactive and supportive HR department which will be instrumental in enhancing the welfare of the employees and it helping the company towards its growth in investment. That's all in my report in chapter 13, ma'am. Thank you.